competition. It's one thing to compete with yourself, but I love competing against other people.
Did that get to your head? You're like, my first hit, 10 million streams right away.
At some point, I felt, I'm Winnipeg's anomaly. I'm that fucking guy. I had to prove myself. Right. Not to nobody, but to myself. I was able to buy my dream car. I was able to rent a place, $4K a month. I was doing things that I was like, holy shit, like I can actually do this. But it also taught me a valuable lesson. For every new high, there will be a new low.
Highs get higher, but do the lows get lower?
The low is so bad, it's so dark. You're just like, man, I'm done with life. I don't care anymore. Never thought once in my life I'd be suicidal. I was suicidal. So I wanted to kill myself, but I didn't want to be here no more because I was going through a crazy time. Like I lost my mind. I ended up in a psych ward. That was a low that was probably one of my worst times ever in my life. It was just like, I didn't understand what was going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Two Fries podcast, aka the #1 podcast in Winnipeg, where we document the rise and stardom of Winnipeg's talent and personalities. Today, we have YSN Fab on the show, the person who gave Winnipeg's rap scene a new face. From hitting highest of highs to hitting lowest of lows, to realizing he was all alone. Damn, that's a bar. Today we talk with YSN Fab about his journey, how he got here, the key influential moments, as well as the people who got him to where he is. From posting a freestyle on Instagram to hitting millions of streams on Spotify, what that journey is like and what that does to a person mentally and psychologically. As always, if you gain any piece of value from this episode, hit that subscribe button. Gives us a reason to continue doing what we do and put the city on the map. As always, enjoy the episode. I'll see you next week.
This one's a good one.
Wild.
It's gonna be a wild one. We've been chasing this guest, particularly myself, for the last 4 to 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't need an introduction. Please welcome YSN Fab.
Woo! Fab in the house, bro.
Yes,
Fab
sir. We here.
Let's
We
go.
finally made it.
First DM 2019 and now 2025. He's in the studio.
Come on, bro.
Like y'all said, it's literally been a minute, bro. It's been a minute.
Also back in Winnipeg. Also doing a show in Winnipeg.
Yup.
Fifth year anniversary of Made for More.
Yup.
First album, brother.
On some wild thing. We were talking before, how do we start the show, right? Story's insane. We're gonna get to it. But we were like, it's been 5 years since Made for More. I want to read the track list, and I want you to break down the titles of these songs. So you have On the Low, Winter City, Meant For, Back to Broke, You and Me, Cash, Monopoly, Real and You, Same Breath, Nobody Loyal,
Bangers after bangers after bangers.
Can't Fall in Love, and Family to Feed.
And a good 80-90% of that was produced by Pascal.
Hell yeah. Talk me through that. Talk me through that track list of Made for More.
So what, you want me to go through every...
No, let's just hear what your mindset was when you made it. The titles themselves speak volumes of a story that's being told in that album.
Yeah, I mean every song definitely has a story. I think, if I'm gonna just this is hard for me to be each one exactly, but if I'm gonna go let's say the hits or the songs that were very successful, right? It's Winter City, Family to Feed, Cash, Meant For.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll touch on the other ones and stuff after too, but Winter City. I feel bruh. Winter City, we in
it right now.
Yo, Winter City?
I saw YSN Fab on the phone. He picked it up. He's like, man, it's cold as fuck out here. All right, fair.
Nah, bro, Winter City was honestly, what's crazy? Every song on that album, even just what's the album called?
Made for More.
And what does that mean to you when you hear that? If you were to think about it, right, and be yo, Made for More, what would that mean to you guys if you just heard that? And you were to think a little bit deeper and be oh, what is that?
I think it just signifies to where you're gonna go in life, right? You just know that you're made for a higher purpose. So Made for More.
Right.
I would think of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
also great title.
Yeah. It was kind of just that's where I was in life, where it was just I had to prove myself, not to nobody, but to myself. Where I was yo, it was a question. It was in a conversation I was having with Pascal. And we were just, and I was yo, am I made for more? And that's where I came up with that title. So when I talk about every title or each song, right, and what the titles mean, why I named them, you know, Winter City, Family. It was like every song that I made was just, I was just trying to prove to myself. You know what I mean?
Was it more of like a question to yourself, like Winter City? Am I supposed to be in Winnipeg, right? Or
Yeah, like a little bit about a little like kind of like that, but more so like, you know, Winter City was like, honestly, Winter City was more, I was like angry when I made it. I was like, I went through certain things and it was like, you know, I was just trying to prove myself. Like, I was trying to prove to people or prove to myself that, like, you know, this city is like, I don't love it necessarily, but it's what made me. Right. And it's like, I still wanted to like make a stamp on the city. And I knew if I named it that, like Winter City, like it would stand out. You know, if we talk about Family to Feed or we talk about Man For, like all these tracks, it's so hard. Like I want to go through every one specifically, but it's like, bro, every song, like Back to Broke, whatever it is, it's just like each song just like meant so much to me. You know what I mean? And me and Pascal would go through the list. Like we had like, you know, 50, 100, 200, whatever. We had so many songs that we're going through, and it was like those ones just stuck out to me because it was like all of them just made sense about how I felt at that moment.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Were you trying to prove yourself like successfully or musically?
Both. Both.
Okay.
For sure.
What was your life like at that time when you were making that album or throughout those songs? Because those are some of your first songs. Like Nobody Loyal, first song you put out. Correct?
Yeah.
Like, so that's like the beginning of the career of YSN Fab.
Yeah.
So what was your state in that world when you were starting to make this?
Oh man, I was hurt. I was broken. I was lost.
How come?
I was tired. I was just trying to find a purpose. And you said, how come? Well, I've always been an athlete, right? That was my life. My life was playing sports. That was what mattered to me. So it was like, once I got to the point where I know I can't do that anymore, because that's what happened. I got injured, whole story, right? And after that, it was like, okay, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, I haven't found anything. Because, like, some people, like, they graduate high school and they know what they want to do right after. Like, oh, I'm going to go be a nurse. Oh, I'm going to go be a doctor. I'm going to... Me, I was like, I didn't know. Like, I wasn't sure about what I wanted to do necessarily. And, like, I feel like, the way that I grew up or the people that were, like, around me and stuff, it was, like, even being an athlete wasn't... Like, I would tell, like, you know, family members and they'd be like, oh, yeah, like, that's cute. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, it's a passion. Yeah, you want. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like it's a passion. It's a hobby. Yeah. It's not something that like is actually like a reality to them until it happens, and then you're like, oh shit, right? Exactly. So that was sports. That was music. Whatever it was just like, oh, this is a hobby. So even when I started music, like it wasn't like I just put it out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so again, I was lost, I was lonely, I was hurt, all these things were happening, and it was like, I just wanted to try to push myself, you know, beyond the limits that I give myself or, you know, family, friends give me, and try to just push past that. And again, that's why it was like, am I made for more? Like, that's why I named it that, because it was like, yo, like, when I drop this or when I put myself out there, let's see where this goes. And can I make money? Can I make it a career? Can I actually do this? You know what I mean? So, yeah, like that's where I was at that time, because it was like I had nothing else. Sports is over. You guys know what patellar tendonitis is?
Yeah.
It's just like basically like
right in your knees.
Yeah, like you don't have like you what?
We got a nurse in the building.
Oh, of course. No, yeah, it's like you don't have I think it's basically like you don't have like cartilage. Yeah. Between like.
Can you break down that story? How like what happened there?
Oh, like how did I get injured and stuff?
Yeah. So like out of high school, trying to play football?
Yep.
Whereabouts?
If you go to my yearbook, you'll see. You know how you gotta leave like a quote.
Yeah.
In the yearbook, my shit was like, because I graduated 2016, so my shit was like, in 5 years I'll be in the NFL. and I'm not there, so
Oh,
fuck.
shit.
But no, that's
how driven you were.
where my mind was, though. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, I'll even put this in a book where it's gonna last forever, and everyone can look at that, because it's like that's how I feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, yo, I graduated, right, like instantly, right? Like right after I graduated, it was like I packed my bags and I went to BC. Obviously, like I had a friend who was in football too, so you know, we would go back and forth like, oh, should we play rifles? Should we go to like we were talking and stuff, and he was a little I played soccer my whole life. Soccer was really my thing, right? But I kind of stopped that, and then I played basketball. I played like everything, like basketball, volleyball. But the thing that I took like most serious, or that I saw like a future in, was football.
Right.
So I do the football thing, and he's been playing football since he was like 8.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So he knew more about it and stuff. He's like, oh, like CJFL, have you ever heard of that? I was like, oh, no, not really. Oh, what's that? Okay, boom, it's this league. It's like the junior pro, that whatever. Yeah, in BC, boom. And we actually were looking at Andrew Harris. He played at the team that I went to at first, which was VI Raiders, Vancouver Island Raiders, right? So I was like, perfect, let's go out there. So we go out there, and yeah, I played like one season there. I think we lost in like semis or finals or something like that.
Sure.
And then it was like, that was the one year that I played, and it was like I tried to go back next year, injure myself, so I took a year off, and I tried to go back again, and then at that point it was like, yo, I just couldn't, and at that point it was like 2019.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, it was like I couldn't do it no more. You know, the athletic trainer told me like, okay, you can still play, but it just depends on your pain tolerance. Because it's not surgery.
Sure, yeah.
Like nothing's broken.
Right.
It's just like you can play still, but it's like, okay, I keep playing, and then my leg will like lock up, or like I couldn't do anything about it. You know what I mean? So basically, boom, all that stuff happens. You know, shit show. I'm injured. Come back. I'm crying. I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm sad. I was like living with my auntie at the time too. She lives in Surrey in BC.
Right.
And I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. Yeah, I was tripping. I was like, yo, I can't go to school. I don't want to go to school. I don't know what I want to do, man. Like,
But that was
what?
your dream, though. That's your dream.
You know what I mean? That's your
Yeah.
dream. You're like, yo, like this is literally like, and this is the thing too about like sports and being an athlete. It's like, not everyone is gifted.
No, 100%. You gotta.
You can teach certain things, but there's not 50, you know, not to compare myself, like I'm nothing like this guy, but there's not 50 Lamar Jacksons.
Right.
There's not, like, there's like certain, so it's like for me, it was like, oh, I'm fit, I'm fast. You know what I mean? It was like when I joined the team, when I first went to VI Raiders, bro, I was beating 5th-year vets.
Right.
And they was getting mad at me. We in practice like, yo, you took my spot. I'm like, hey, man, I don't know, man. I'm like that, I guess. You know what I'm
Built
saying?
different.
Yo, shit. I've only been playing a couple years, but I'm like that, boy. So, you know what I mean? Like, it was like, bro, I took pride in that shit, though. I love being an athlete. I love competition. I love competition. You know what I mean? It's one thing to compete with yourself, but I love competing against other people.
That's the best.
It's like you just rub it in their face and shit, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, dead ass, bro. Dead ass. So, anyways, long story short, boom, I get back to Winnipeg, and yeah, I'm just lost, bro. Like, I go back, boom, I'm living with my mom. You know, I don't know where I'm gonna go from there, because I'm like, what am I gonna do? And then my brother at the time, Isaiah, he's 3 years younger than me. He was rapping. And I've been rapping since I was younger. It's just for fun. Like, you could go on my YouTube. I hope nobody find it, but you could go on my YouTube and shit that I made like a long time ago. I made raps like, you know, you have like a science project for school, and everyone has to do like a poster and a PowerPoint, and I will go to the teacher, I'm like, yo, can I just make a rap about it?
Right.
So I've done it, but I never thought it was a serious thing. Yeah. So I posted this freestyle, and boom, that's where I meet Pascal. Right? That's where things start to change. Yo, this is where the story gets interesting, though.
And so it's great to see like both of you here in a different world. Okay, so you post a freestyle, but like, question before we get to Pascal here. What made you like want to post a freestyle? Like, was there something else you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do? Did you have like some sort of plan of like, okay, fuck, I might have to get a job at retail. I might have to do this. I might have to do that. Like, what was the thing of like, shit, like I'm gonna record this and I'm actually gonna post it? One thing to record, another thing to post.
One thing to record, one thing to post.
Like why?
Well, the thing is, like, at that time, it was definitely different than the way that I think about it now. Right?
Okay.
At that time, again, it was like,
More for clout?
I don't want to say, you're on the right track, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say that word because I feel like it's just such a bad, like, yeah, I did it for clout.
Right.
But it wasn't for clout, but it is different when I was like 19.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you
wanna
are
fit in.
kind
You're
of,
fitting in.
you can't, not even fitting in necessarily because nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm not fitting in necessarily, but I'm like, let me show y'all what I could do.
Yeah.
And flex again.
Yeah.
If I go back, I'm an athlete. So in my head, I'm competing.
Right.
So when I post that, that's the kind of mindset. I'm like, oh, do people fuck with this? Let's see.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
all right, bet. And I'm not self-conscious. So if people react and I got like a million comments that are like, your ass, yo, quit.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, maybe I might listen to it and I might have quit or not, but I don't know. All my reactions were good.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll post another one.
It got picked up by World Star, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like, at first it was kind of just this thing where it was like, yo, like I want people to know that like I can do this or what they kind of think or whatever. And then yeah, I got good reactions. So then I kept posting. And then I had, in a span of like 2, 3, 4 months, it's like I have like 5, 6 freestyles on there. And then, yeah, at some point, I don't know which one it was exactly. I think it was Seasons Freestyle, where I was wearing like the yellow plaid, I think. And I think that's the one that he caught.
Not only World
That
Star picked
caught
it up,
his
this man
attention.
picked it up.
Pascal Beats picked it up.
So yeah, and then obviously as you go on, it's like, it's not just about, oh, I'm trying to prove. Now you're like, oh shit, like let me just continue to do this and see how far it goes.
Yeah.
And then I get this message and he's like, yo, come to the studio. And so it's like, now it's becoming more serious.
All right, go.
Was it? I have the DM right here, bro.
Break this down.
knew it. Was
Break
it-
this down. Who
Break
slid in
this
first?
down.
Who slid in first?
This was
No, exactly.
only on
That's crazy.
June 1st.
2018, bro.
So this is September 22, 2018. I don't know if you hit him up or he hit you up.
That's
Like,
him.
Okay.
Do you still live in
So,
Winnipeg?
Yeah, so the Pascal's like, do you still live in Winnipeg? And then Fab goes, yes, sir.
What's the timestamp on this? I'm just curious.
No, timestamp's not given. But then Fab goes, bro, Pascal goes, bro, that freestyle was raw, fire and flame. You should come to the studio. We can get shit poppin'. And then Fab goes, say less. I ain't really touch a studio like that, but we can vibe for show. and then Pascal goes, dope. You free today or tomorrow? He's like, yeah, I might be free today. That's it. And that's where the journey starts.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, break it down. So you meet. What the first reactions? What does it look like? Like, what's going through your mind, Pascal?
He was kind of awkward in the beginning.
Yeah.
He was, like, quiet, like kind of like sitting and like crouched like that. But I don't know. Then he started to open up later and like
Yeah.
You spend enough time with each other, you're going to start building a brotherhood.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
Do you remember
Yeah.
the first studio space?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, that was he came I think like that same day.
Right.
I DM'd him, and he came later that evening, and he just kind of came into the studio, sat on the couch right there.
Was it by myself?
Yeah, you were
or-
by yourself
Okay.
before. Yeah, that one.
Okay, before Manny came and shit.
Yeah. So I think we were there for like maybe 3 hours, and we just talked the whole.
Yeah.
We didn't even really record. I think you freestyled that "Ride for Me" song.
Yeah.
And I was just like, observing, taking notes, like, okay, because he never wrote a song before, like
Structure. Proper structure. Okay, hook, verse, hook, bridge. Like, you know what I mean? Like proper structure.
Yeah.
It was just like I just put bars together.
Gotcha.
It was like, okay, how's this sound? And then he would break it down.
Yeah.
So what did you see in Fab that he didn't see in himself to be like, yo, come through the studio? What was that?
Yeah, so, I mean, at the time, like, that was a different time in music. That was, like, 2018.
Right.
It's like Lil Baby era.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, that's when, a lot of those new artists, like Lil Baby, Gunna, NBA Youngboy, a lot of those type of artists were coming up.
Right.
Like Lil TJ and Polo a little
It's
bit,
like,
too.
and it's like you're rapping, but it was a lot like good mixture of like melodic kind of rapping.
Right.
And I think that's what really caught his ear.
Yeah.
Because he told me, he's like, he would hear guys rapping and it was more like, you know, like boom bap, like old school or,
Got you.
you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's what really caught his eye.
Okay.
Yeah, and like that was a lot of the music I was listening to, like that new age hip
Exactly.
hop, like with the melodies and stuff like that. So when I heard him, I was like, what? Like, no way someone from Winnipeg
Yeah.
is rapping like that, because nobody really had that type of sound at the time. So that's why like my first DM was, are you like, you
Are
live
you
in
in
Winnipeg?
Winnipeg?
Like,
Yeah.
because like I couldn't believe somebody, you know, from Winnipeg had that type of sound.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I thought he was from the States at first.
Yeah.
I thought he was from the States or something, but
Damn.
but yeah, then yeah. So after that first session, when we were mostly talking and like just
Breaking ice.
breaking down, breaking ice and stuff, he came like a week later, and then that's when like we made Nobody Loyal.
Right.
And
Did you record songs before Nobody Loyal, or was
as,
that
like,
one
with
of the
him,
first? Yeah.
No, that was
No?
like the first. Nobody Loyal was
Damn.
the first.
Damn, that was
song.
like a first song ever.
Yeah, like
Oh, it was the second, right?
well, the first one ride for me was like the freestyle. Like you were like,
Yeah.
you wanna ride for me?
Wow.
We never released.
Yeah,
that
we
one.
could cut that. First song was no.
First song was Nobody Loyal.
Yeah, first song on Nobody
But
Loyal.
first
5
real
million
song
views.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First real song for sure.
Yeah.
Damn,
and,
that's a banger song, bro. Like,
Yeah.
And like I felt like you were kind of like unsure of the song. I remember when you finished it, like until like you saw me and Manny's reaction, like yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about every song.
Yeah.
Like even Cash, bro. We
Yeah.
made Cash, and it was like, you know, right away Pascal was like, "Oh, this shit is." I was like, "What makes you?" Because I don't understand.
Yeah.
You know, now I have a better grasp of what's, you know, a hit or a good song, and what's kind of just like, yeah, just leave that in a tuck. Nobody's ever gonna hear that.
Yeah.
But back then, I was like, dog, all this shit sounds the same to me. I don't know what's like good. But then it's like, yo, we get around other people and shit. He'll show some friends. He'll show even Lavish.
Right.
I remember specifically Cash. We were driving in a whip or whatever, and Lavish was with us. And Lavish was like, yo, Fab.
Yeah.
I was like, dog, yo, chill. Like, nah, it's not that crazy. And so it was like, and somebody, like, I looked up to him.
Right,
Like, I'm like,
exactly.
dog, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yo, you make music. You're like,
Because he was Winnipeg scene.
he would,
was
yo, that's what
Winnipeg
I'm saying, bro.
That's like
Even
the
his
first guy.
brother, bro.
Yeah,
Somto.
Yeah.
Bro, I have no type of ego. I've always said, bro, I dead ass, Somto, Lavish, and even Lim. I don't know if you got
Word of
Lim,
Lim.
right?
Word of Lim.
Lim.
Out in Georgia, I think, right now.
He was here. Or I'm pretty sure he was
Yeah.
born or whatever.
sure.
But those were the type of dude. I wasn't like hip to music when like Winnipeg's Most and like
Okay, yeah.
you know Charlie Fed. Like I wasn't hip to that when they were hot. I was younger and shit, so I wasn't hip to it. Now, like, definitely, bro. I see them in the club and shit. And I'm like, oh, what's up? I'm fanboying. I'm like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But back then, that wasn't who I was really. You know what I mean? Or like YK the Mayor or whatever. Like now, cause I'm in this space of music, so I'm like, oh, word. But yeah, it's just like, okay, so you have people like that being like, yo, no, this is a hit. I'm like, oh, word. So I was like, okay, bet. Like that's fire.
And like the ones you wanted to release were like super lyrical. Like, bro, no, don't
Yo,
release this one.
So what was the dynamic like when you know it's gonna be a hit? He doesn't believe it. How do you convince him to like, yo, trust me, this is gonna work?
I was just persistent. I was just telling like, yo, trust me, like you have to release this
Oh,
one.
nigga, yo,
why
he didn't let me. He didn't let me. If he said it was a hit, there is no. He's like, oh, I was persistent. Shut up, yo. He was like, dog, this is fire. Drop this shit. There was no way I was getting out of that, nigga. This nigga, like, yo, he was basically my pop, bro. He was my dad, bro. He was like, no, son, you can't drop. I was like, okay, bet. Yo, I had to fight my way, bro. I'm gonna tell you this. Winter City.
Yeah.
That was, I know you remember.
Yeah.
Winter City was the first song that I felt actually confident in being like and when I mean confident, bro, I'm telling you, bro. I made Cash. I made Meant For. I made this song. And I would go to him and I'd be like, oh, what do you think? and he would either say it's fire or it's not, and I'd have my opinion, whatever. But his opinion would usually rule, right? Because it's like he knows music more, so I would trust him. He'd be like, you know, Cash is fire, bro. I'm like, are you sure? Yeah. Okay, cool. Winter City, I went to him, bro. I wrote that shit. I don't know. I could have wrote it in an hour, a couple, whatever the fuck. I wrote that shit, finished it, went straight to the studio the next day, freestyled him. Never needed help from nobody. I rapped the whole shit to him, and he said, "I'm done." And I stand there. I'm like, "What do you think?" He's like, "It's all right." We record it, bro. We record it, put the mix on, finalize. Maybe the next day, couple days. I'm like, "Dog, what do you think?" He's like, "It's cool." Yeah. And he likes to take his time, right? Couple weeks go by. He wants to sit on it, so you really know, okay. And then within that 2 weeks, you probably make 3, 10, 20 more tracks, and then now you compare. Because sometimes this is what people do, right? Especially if you're new artists. And this is what I learned from him. It's like you might make a couple songs. This is a hit. And then 2 weeks go by and you make 10 more songs. You're like, oh no, but this shit a hit. Yeah. So that's why he kind of just waited and shit. And I learned that from him, right?
Yeah.
So we got to that 2 week mark or whatever it was, and nigga, Winter City was still a hit. That shit was still a hit, but he was still like, no, if you want to drop it, let's drop it on Spotify first. Don't put it on. And I'm like, dog, this shit is so hard. So I'm glad that was my first song though that I actually felt like super confident about. Where I was like, yo, like, bro, I'm taking your tactics. What you kind of taught me and how you like this isn't like an emotional, and what he was saying earlier where he's like, bro, sometimes I make a song where it was like, I'm talking about my mom and my friend, and I'm like, I'm in love. And so it was like an emotional track to me, but it wasn't necessarily a hit. And that's where he was really good at just, detaching, your emotion, like, you know what I mean? Your feelings, your emotional attachment towards that song, and just being like, yo, I get you might feel, oh, well, yeah, you said, you grew up like this, and that doesn't always matter. Right. You could talk some random shit, I just want cash. And I'm like, but dog, all I said was I just want cash. People aren't going to feel that. I need to drop this where I'm like, yo, when I was 12, I was, like, you know what I mean? Get deep. Yeah. But that's where I kind of learned that.
And that was like in the pivotal time too. That was like right when you first started, because you dropped Nobody Loyal, blew up like 10 million streams, crazy, right? So he had to follow that up with another hit, right? Yeah. So that's why we were really careful which one to drop, because now that you got everyone's attention, you want to give them your best work so they can keep following you, right? If you drop a dud after a huge song, then they might be like, okay, this guy's a one-hit wonder, and just kind of...
Bro, but the run that you guys both went on of like Nobody Loyal, Meant for Cash, Winter City,
Family,
and then Made for More, the album.
Like, that's a run. That's a run in terms of like looking 5 years later, all those guys got 10 million on Spotify alone.
Yeah.
What is the reaction when you see that now, like 5 years later? Like, did you think it was going to get 10 mil? Do you think those guys were going to hit 9 on Spotify alone? I don't even know what the other numbers are.
I mean, at least for me, before him, like maybe my biggest song had like maybe like 20,000 or something, like streams or something like that. Sure. So like when I like see the analytics,
I'm gonna tell it real. Shut up.
Yeah.
He was recording Miazwe. I love Miazwe. If you see this, dog, love you. But I'm gonna tell it for real. He was recording Miazwe, and this really stood out to me. This is why I want to just get this on record.
Hold on. Wait, is this like Blue Lights Miazwe?
No, before. Okay. He was recording Miazwe 2018, 2019, whatever the fuck it was, right? Yeah. So he's recording Miazwe, and it's like, in a whole year, Miazwe made about, $100 or $200. In 1 month, I think it was Nobody Loyal, whatever it was, made the same. Like in 1 month, it made like $100. And so I go to him and I'm like, nigga, I can't pay rent with this shit. But his perspective was like, yo, like, and not just to point Miazwe out, it's like, he's recorded this artist or that guy or this, and he's not used to that. So he was like, yo, dog, you're on a good roll, trust me. And I'm like, dog, it's $100. The fuck you talking about? Yeah. But it was like that perspective where I was just like, oh shit, like some people when they do this, maybe they've been doing this for a year or 2 years or whatever it is, and they're not making that much money or whatever. So it was like, yo.
But strictly off streams, though.
Yeah, just streams.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? Like, again, it's no diss to Miazwe. It's no like, oh, he's broke and I'm just saying, I'm sure he was doing other shit. He could have been making money other ways, whatever. Yeah. But just strictly off streams, it's like, people don't realize, and that's the thing too, right? It's like even to this, well, maybe not to this day, but for a good while, good couple years, like say I started 2020, 2022, 2023, it's like I would still have people, even my parents and shit, like, you can make money off music? You're actually making money? I'm like, yeah, I actually am.
Yeah.
Bro,
I've bought this car. I've bought this. I can pay my rent. I was like, yo, this is for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was like that initial thing where it was just like, bro, like he saw something different. Then he was like, yo, you actually are making money from this shit. Watch, this shit could go 1,000 a month.
Yeah, it
10,000 a month.
Yeah,
I was like, yo.
it started at like 100. Because the way the streams work is like you get paid like 6 to 9 months behind, right? So when we released we didn't really get like our first check till like 6-9 months after.
Yeah.
So then like the first check was like maybe like $100.
Right.
The next check was like 800.
Ooh.
And like, like 2,000, like 5,000. Like just like it just kept going up. It just kept going up. And like I'm just looking because like before I met him, like I said, like maybe my biggest song had like 20,000 streams. And then now it's like getting millions. So like he didn't really understand, like his first song got millions. So he didn't understand like how big that was, you know, and how like it's not a common thing. So it took him a while to really like understand, like,
did that get to your
doing
head?
something crazy.
Did that get to your head? You're like, yo, my first hit, like 10 million streams right away.
No, not at that point.
Yeah.
But definitely, nigga, I named my album Winnipeg's Anomaly.
You're not wrong.
At some point, I felt, I'm Winnipeg's Anomaly. I'm that fucking guy. And I think, honestly, you should feel like that.
Right.
Regardless. Think about it. All these guys, bro, like fucking, you know, whoever it is, you know, I don't want to drop all these names and stuff, but it's just like you could go to anybody who's doing music in the city, in any city. And what are they always saying? I'm the king of the city. I'm the legend of the city. I'm this guy. Like, that's how you always feel as an artist and shit, right? You are, you know, self-proclaimed this. You know what I mean? And obviously, if you have a fan base behind you too and shit, and they're telling you too, like, oh, you're the GOAT, you're the GOAT. You feed on that. You're like, oh, shit. I didn't have a lot of haters.
Yeah.
I could go through 100 comments. 2 of them might say, you're a piece of shit, you suck.
Yeah.
But 90% of that shit was like, yo, dog, yo, you're underrated. You should be bigger. You know what I mean? So it's like, that gets to your head. I'm like, I should be bigger. I'm Winnipeg's Anomaly. And to be honest, I don't feel like that was too far from the truth.
Right.
I genuinely feel when I look at the stats, and I actually look at the stats of music alone, rap music alone.
Check the stats.
Exactly. But I definitely feel like I wasn't wrong for saying that. But I'm going to be completely honest and vulnerable and say, definitely. Did that get to my head? Did I think I was on top of the fucking world at one point? 100%. And I can't even imagine what people feel like when they get like 1 billion streams on a song. Even if they're just a one-hit wonder. And they get 1 billion and they go global and they're like, I'm that guy. And they got fucking $2 million around their neck. Like, you know, like a 6ix9ine or some shit. Where it's like, you know? So... yeah, you know, I definitely, you know, and bro, that's a whole nother conversation, you know, because then you think about, you know, ego, and then you think about like identity crisis, and you think about, oh, like, am I this person? Am I YSN or am I Fabian? Who's Fabian? Who's it? That's a whole deep spiral. You don't want to, it's too deep. I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's like, then you start, you know, questioning yourself and shit. And then now you have an expectation for yourself. And that's something that, like, even with us, it's like, you know, that stuff alone, it's just like, just talking about making a song. Now I got in my head, I have to make a hit. And this guy, bro, is like such an important piece in just the whole process, because it's like, bro, anytime I felt like giving up, which was like literally every day, I was like, bro, I'm not coming back to this. Fuck this shit. You know, like every time I felt like, oh, bro, I can't make this. Because you want to duplicate that. You want to, but he would always remind me, bro, you're going to make 20, 30 shitty songs. Then you're going to get that one.
Damn.
And so it's like having a person like that, all you need is that one, you know, and I feel like that's kind of like, you know, I don't know you guys, but I feel like the fact that, you know what I mean? Like, you guys know each other, you guys are close, like, that's probably, even you, right? Not to, like, put you out of it, just, you know, you have those friends that are around you that just pick you up when you're down. And they remind you, yo, keep going. And that's so important to have. Because honestly, bro, that's why, like, I made a song about him. Because I'm like, dog, like, this is literally, this dude is like, it's so important to have those people in your life that can just push you.
This is where I want to read you Pascal, like the lyric from Pascal, the song, right?
Okay.
So, because I think it's going to give a context to the whole story. I want to get you guys' opinion on it. So Pascal wasn't just producing. Behind the scenes, he would manage. He did it for no cost. It was out of love. I ain't even have a car. He would pick me up. And I lost how many times I wanted to quit, but he was always reminding me that one day we're going to be rich.
Yeah.
It got me right back to my pen and paper. Had no family in my corner. Said I'll make it for him. Damn, brother.
We read it to you once. Now we got the man who sung it here.
Damn, bro. Talk to me about the I don't even have to ask the thought behind it, but man, like your guys' relationship is like you're brothers. You're not even, he's not a producer, you're not an artist. You guys are brothers for life. And talk to me what it means to have someone who supports you when, you know, you came up from a background where you didn't have that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go first. Yeah, that's a brother, man. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Started as strangers, and, you know, through music, we grew closer, and, you know, he obviously saw something in me, and obviously things were, you know, becoming successful and getting to a point where, you know, we're making money, we're doing moves, we're doing shows, all these things. Right. And, you know, I think that motivated him too. You know, it showed him a different side of like, you know, this can actually be possible.
Right.
You know, he's a real stand-up guy. He's a real, like, you know, he still went to school. He still did those, like, did what's, gonna basically give him that support if music doesn't work out. He still did those things, but it's like,
this is all you
it
have.
literally,
Yeah.
it showed him like, yo, this is actually possible. And then I think we just fed off each other and stuff, you know?
Question: Did you write that without him in the
Oh,
in the
100%.
studio?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I literally showed him that like on his birthday too. I think it was something
Something like
Ooh.
that.
something like that. Where I
Okay.
was like, yo, bro, like I have like a gift for you. Fam. Yeah, for real. Cause I was like, bro, and yeah, like I always viewed like the studio, which is literally in his basement.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I viewed it as my sanctuary, bro. Our sanctuary. It was like, bro, like, you know.
Were you? Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, were you nervous to play it for him? Just like you were nervous to
The
play
song?
something? Yeah.
No, not at that point.
You know it was going to be a hit?
Not even. It wasn't even about.
You're like,
a
I'm
hit.
putting this out regardless.
Yeah. No, it wasn't exactly. It wasn't even about a hit, bro. I mean, the song's called Pascal. It's about his, not his life, but how I view him, our relationship, things that went on behind the scenes. So it's like, I don't care. Like, it's not about making a hit. There's some songs that it's not always about making a hit, you know? But yeah, I view the studio as like a sanctuary where it was like, bro, I've never felt like I had a place like his studio where I could just be myself. Like, as corny and cliche as that sounds, it's like, bro, I could just be myself. Sometimes he would even step out of the studio and I'm in there for like an hour, 2 hours by myself because I didn't even want him in there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he accepted me. He made me feel confident.
No judgment.
But it was also like, sometimes it was just like, I genuinely have never had a space, just me, and to just be like, say some weird melody, and it sounds weird and it sounds off, and it's like, I don't want people judging me, but it's like, I never had that space. So the fact that I could have that space, or even sometimes he'd be like, yo, what do you have? And I'd be like, he's like, what? Say it louder. And it's like, I don't even want to tell you the lyrics because I literally didn't feel that confident, but it was like the fact that I had that kind of space. That's where that song kind of came from, where it's just like, dog, like, you don't realize, bro. And like I said, right, it's like, dog, like, I feel like giving up, and he's like, no, one day we gonna be rich, bro. One day we gonna make it. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Was that intentional? Did you make that environment intentional? Or was that just something that happened?
It just kind of happened. And, you know, like, to speak on the song, like, me and him have been through a lot, man. Like, we've been through so much from the beginning to now. Like, they don't even know the half of what we've been through. But, you know, every time I hear that song, it always brings me back to those earlier days. Like, all those lyrics are 100% true. Like, I live all the way in the south end of the city. Yeah. For a long time, he lived in the north end of the city. In the beginning, like when he came back from BC, he had to sell his car and all these things. So he didn't have a ride. So I would drive like 30 to 40 minutes all the way to the north end, back to the south end for our studio sessions.
Man's committed.
And then drop him back home, then drive back home. And I kind of saw like the long-term picture. I was like, you know what, like, I don't even care. Like, you know, like, I believe so much in what we're doing that's nothing to me. And two, like, we were back in the beginning, like when he had nothing or whatever. One of the reasons I could pick which songs we used because everything was through my like computer. Like, I ran the distro kit. I was paying for the subscription. Like, I was paying for the mixing and mastering. I don't know if you guys know like that the process with the songs to be released.
What, Derek Benjamin?
Yeah, Derek. Shout out to Derek.
Shout out Derek.
And you know, it was just so much fun. It didn't feel like work. Like every day was so like, it was just so fun, and it was so rewarding to hear the songs back and then see like all the hard work we put into making the songs, and when we release it, see how everyone like, you know, loved it and everything like that. So that's what kind of fueled me during those times when, you know, he was at that low point. Just, I don't know, it was so rewarding. So it never felt like work. I was always happy to do it and like step in those roles, like even though like maybe at the point I believed in it so much, and you know, it kind of pushed me through it. I wasn't getting paid, I wasn't doing anything, but like he's compensated me fairly, so like it was well worth it. Yeah. But no, like it was just all love, and it still is.
Yeah.
It still is.
I 100% resonate with that story, man, because we say this often, is that you gotta have some sort of delusional optimism. It's like you gotta believe in it so much. Even with this, we've been going for 4 years. We don't make money. We got one comment and we're like, "Fuck, we're going crazy tomorrow, boys."
No, that's the most important part, though, because the fact that you're doing it without really making money means that you actually love it and you actually have passion for it. Oh, yeah. The people that quit are the people that do it for the money. Oh, fuck, it's been 2 years. I haven't made a single dollar. Right. Oh, fuck, let me just do something else, right? But if you really love it, you're going to keep pushing and you're going to keep going, right? I don't think we made any money. We made $0 in 2018. 2019 was like when we started making like 100, 200. So we weren't really making any money for those starting 2 years. But then we just kept pushing.
Once that album dropped.
Yeah, once that album dropped in 2020, that's when like
2020,
everything started coming, because I remember the music industry is like 6 months behind, like in payments. So then that's when we started seeing the fruits of our labor. But
you remember the first time you guys hit a mill on a song?
Yeah, cash. I mean, we went to
was
dinner.
It cash? I know it was.
It was cash. We went to Earl's with Tobiah, and I think David was there. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was Nobody Love, though.
Break that down.
Cash.
Break that down. A mill. Was that big? What was going through your mind?
I mean, like, to me, it was huge because, like I said, I was like usually in the thousands.
Yeah. Right.
But like a mill was like, wow, like these guys in the States are doing this. Like, so why? Like, there's no difference of what me and him are doing too. So it was really awesome just to see that. And see how we did it, just me and him.
For you, was that like a proof of concept? Is like, yo, I know my shit now. Like, this is where I can. No, really.
When did that hit?
When did what hit? What do you
like,
mean?
when did you start believing that? Okay, this music shit's for real. Like, I can do this.
I don't know.
Was it a number? Was it someone that commented? Was it when someone reached out?
No, because like I'm not gonna lie, like. I feel like every day it resets.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe now? In this moment?
Imagine this, right? Like, how do I put this? It's like you're always chasing the next high.
Mm. Yeah.
So it's like I can be grateful and I can acknowledge that I've done this and I hit 1 million and I did, but you're always chasing the high. You're always trying to duplicate it. You're always trying to do it again.
Right.
So I'm saying it's almost like this like paradox where it's like, as much as I feel good about it, it's like it also puts the pressure on you to redo that and get there again. And if you don't, that shit just chips away at your ego, chips away at your confidence.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, that's just me being honest, man. It's like I still to this day I'm like I don't want to do music, bro. Fuck music. Yo, I'm not that good. Oh, this guy raps better than me. You know, not to compare anything, but it's like that's just honest, bro. I'm like, hey, like, you know what I mean?
He's been like that since the beginning. He's quit
That's
probably
just
like
it.
500 times.
That's just it. And I think it's a part of just me wanting it so bad. That doesn't mean that I'm not confident or that I don't care. It's that I care so much and that I want to be so much better. And I want to take that song from, okay, I hit 10 million. I want to hit 100 million.
Yeah.
I want to hit 1 billion, but I haven't.
Right.
When is it going to come? Is it going to come? Fuck. You know what I mean? Before it's different. You want 1 million streams or you want $1 million and then you hit it and you're like,
What now?
you're happy.
Yeah.
You take it in. It's great. But then you're like, the thing that they don't tell you about, you know, having a hit song or doing great things is that you got to fucking do it again.
Yeah.
You got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And then what? Then what do they tell you? Oh, he fell off. Oh, he should be way bigger than, oh, you've been in this for 5 years. Why aren't you? You know what I mean? It's different when you first start. Oh, who's this guy? Oh, shit. 10,000 streams a day, 1 million, whole YSN Fab. And what I tell my friends all the time, I'm like, yo, it went from YSN Fab, who's why? To now it's, I know YSN Fab, he's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the difference of like, yeah, that's cool. I know this guy, cool. What else can you do?
Right.
You know what I mean? Now I got to fucking backflip like Shai Ross or some shit. You know what I mean? Like be on stage like, never need help for night. It's like, yo, they not just gonna sit there and be like, yeah, I heard you,
Yeah.
dog, I heard you rap this shit 50 times. Like, cool. What else?
Right.
Yeah.
Can you sing like Beyonce? Like, think about Beyonce. Think about, what did she just win a Grammy for? Best fucking country album? She got to switch lanes. You got to do shit that's different.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now people will acknowledge it. People, oh, wow. Wow, that's different. You know what I
more than
mean?
just this.
I
He's
could
more than
rap
that.
like,
Yeah.
even people, it's like, bro, I see comments all the time. Oh, make Winter City Part 2. Make Cash Part 2. It's like, dog, even if I did,
wouldn't-
you know what I mean? Think about NLE. What, is he on fucking Shot of Flow 8? You know what I mean? Shot of Flow was the thing that blew him up. Now he's on Shot of Flow 8. But after fucking 2, 3, 4 Shot of Flows, it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing about music. Like, whether you do it, you change up, or you don't, like, they're always going to find a way to kind of hate on you. Like,
Yeah.
Right?
for example, like Lil Baby, he's getting a lot of hate. Oh, he sounds the same. But that's somebody that's doing the same song, right? And that's what a lot of fans say, oh, do your old stuff. So when he does it, he still gets hate.
And it's
when
so
people,
crazy.
When people switch up, then they'll tell them to go back to their old songs.
It's so crazy because it's like me, like I'm all over the board. I might sing a little bit, rap like this. I don't stand. If you play 5 different songs from any album, any era, 2019 to 2025, you're gonna get a different sound in every time. Through the Thunder, Winter City, those sound nothing alike.
Yeah.
Meant For and fucking a song that you guys probably haven't even heard, Lovers or Friends. Maybe you guys have, but it's like those, like every era you can compare. It's like nothing sounds the same. But like you just said, now they're like, oh well, go back to the old shit. But like you just said, you have a DaBaby or a Lil Baby, they find a certain flow where they sound the same on a song, and then they say the same shit. Oh, you sound the same, switch it up. It's like you can't win, bro. You can't win. Like, you know. But that's why it always comes back down to just do what you love.
Yeah.
Like if you love it, keep doing what you're doing, and you know.
I think Russ said this, and I think it's from his interview, where he said like when a fan hears your music for the first time, you can't get that first time back.
Nah, you can't.
Of
you
like
can't.
when you play YSN in the car for the first time.
Yeah.
Yo, who is that?
Yeah,
you can't get that back.
And I think
ever.
that's why they like, especially like, you know, the day ones and shit. That's why they go, oh, make this song again, because they want that feeling.
They want
again,
that feeling.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Like, make that Nobody Loyal again. It's like,
I'm
bro,
gonna
just
share a
enjoy
story.
that shit.
Yeah.
Like when Cash came out, this was me. I think it was first year university. I've never told this story before, but like this
Okay.
this is sick. This is sick. I worked 2 jobs, man. I was working minimum wage. I was working morning in the theaters, and that night morning it was at a call center, 24/7 in touch, doing customer service for McDonald's.
Oh, shit, okay.
And then I was working at the movie theater, still closing at night.
Okay.
And on my drive there, every single morning. I just want cash. Build the gang. And
Bye.
You didn't even know that.
That's hard.
yeah,
hard.
yeah. I was like, that's when I got introduced to your music, and I was like, okay, this is.
How did you hear it though?
It was just like I don't even know, man.
I think but like I probably saw it through that Instagram post of you like it's like pink and purple and you're like rapping directly into the mic and it's that bridge part right there.
Pink and purple.
Oh,
We
I
can
don't,
probably
I,
find it on
I
your
don't,
Instagram
I don't, I don't
somewhere,
know if
but-
I'll find it, but it's like you doing that like
It's a freestyle?
no, it's Cash. It's the bridge from Cash. That like fast little
Oh,
bit.
not actually. You're talking about the bridge.
Yeah, the bridge in Cash.
Oh, okay.
That's probably the
no,
video that I
It
saw.
was in his studio.
Yeah, in his
Yeah,
studio.
In his studio.
In his
With the
studio.
LEDs,
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's when I
That's like
probably
a
got hit
minute
on.
ago, for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah.
For sure.
You remember the show at OV that you did?
Yeah, like way back.
Yeah. And so I remember
Fucking
hearing
did Meant For like
Exactly.
5 times. I had 2 songs up. But yeah.
yeah.
Talk to me when you got off that show.
Off stage?
Yeah, off stage. What was going through your mind?
Oh, I was so hyped, man.
King of
It was-
Winnipeg, right?
What's that?
King of Winnipeg.
You shout out your
Yeah, I
mom. You
was
shout out
just-
your mom out there. You
Yeah,
like
I was-
like
It was like literally, it was probably like my second show because I think I did, I opened up for Lavish
Yep.
at Citizen.
Yeah.
Now it's EEC, but it was Citizen before it. Opened up for him and I didn't even drop a song yet. I was planning on dropping Nobody Loyal, but I hadn't dropped it yet. And I think that's like the only song that I did. But like the reaction was crazy. It was just like,
so you opened up with no songs. How's that work?
well, it's like what I recorded it,
Yeah.
all this, and it was in the vault.
Yeah.
So
You played for Lav? You
yeah,
played it for
like
him?
it was his show,
Yeah.
and then it was just like, again, he knows Pascal, he knows me. He's like, oh,
Yeah,
dude, here, open up for me. I was like, okay, wait, appreciate it. So boom, I do it. I only had like 1 song. Well, not again. I didn't even have 1 song dropped. It was like I had 1 song in the vault.
vault. Yeah.
It was like that's it. So yeah, no. But I performed there. I was nervous as hell, bro. Like I was like in the bathroom with my friend. I was like, dog, this is happening. I was tripping, bro. Cause like, bro, I have such like I have what's that called?
ADHD.
Stage fright?
ADHD. What the fuck? He's like bipolar. Like no. What's that?
Anxiety?
Well, anxiety, but what's it called? Stage
fright.
Stage fright.
Stage fright. Exactly.
Yeah, wow. ADHD to stage
Yeah,
fright.
please.
I'm
Somebody,
sorry.
you gotta put the edits and put like a question mark above head. What the fuck is this guy talking about? Nah, but that's funny. No, yeah, just stage fright, bro. I've always had that, right? Like even in class and shit. Like that's why I would tell my teacher, hey, let me do like let me rap or some shit. You know what I mean? Because it was like, oh, like doing a PowerPoint and being like, yeah, so in 1977, it's like, oh, it's so hard for me. So I was super scared, but yeah, I did that, and then yeah, like I did the show there, and wow, it was exhilarating, bro. It's a different feeling when you're like on stage and people are there for you, and then they know your songs and you're saying, oh man, it's amazing. It's such an amazing feeling.
Talk to me about that feeling when you come from nothing and now you start making some money, right?
Yeah.
Now there's a lyric in
Oh, I
one
was
of your
shitting on niggas. You know what I mean? Oh, that's feeling good. The hell?
like you're Winnipeg's anomaly, right? Like
Yeah.
you're on top of the world right now. What does that power feel like, man? Like you can get anything and everything you want in this world, and you came from nothing.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
I mean, it'll either make you or break you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like it did both. I feel like it showed me like the type of person I am when I do have money and when I do have status.
Who is that person?
Definitely confident, super confident.
Right.
I wouldn't say money makes me, but I would say that like when you have money, when you have financial freedom, when you're able to buy this or go here, take a trip, come on now, who wouldn't feel more confident? Who wouldn't feel better about themselves? When you're broke as fuck, when you're down bad, bro, like, you're thinking about the worst shit. You're thinking like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to be around nobody. What is life? What's my purpose? So, when you have money, when you have financial freedom, when you're able to do certain things that you couldn't do before, like it gives you a certain type of like confidence and a certain type of security that like people pray for.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it's just just like, some people might argue, yo, oh no, that guy is arrogant. That guy is cocky. He thinks too much of himself. But it's like everyone has their opinion, Right. For me, I'm like, nah, I feel like, it didn't change me. I wasn't like this completely different guy. Yeah. It was just like,
you have money.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you're comfortable, bro. I was able to buy my dream car, I was able to, rent a place, $4K a month, like, pay this. But, like, I was doing things that I was like, holy shit, like, I can actually do this. You know what I mean? But it also taught me a valuable lesson that, like, money isn't everything. And it's like such a cliche thing. And I didn't have that much money. I didn't touch $1 million. I didn't make $10 million. But I was definitely touching 6 figures. I was, $500,000. Like, I was definitely touching up. But it's like, okay, now you think about people when you see, I used to watch like YouTube videos and shit where it's like, NBA players or NFL players or whatever, they would sign these contracts and they go broke. Yeah. They sign a contract, 50 million, 20 million in 1 year and go broke. Yeah. Right. Or on top of that, you hear like a Jeff Bezos or like a Bill Gates or whatever. Yeah. They're billionaires. And they always, it's cliche, right? They're like, oh, money doesn't make you. Money's not the most important thing. Your family, that's what matters. Your health, and that's so true. Right. I didn't get to that point where I'm this big millionaire, billionaire, but even just touching money where I never even thought I would touch, or being in a position where I never thought, and experiencing that and going through it, and then being like so lonely and lost, but still having money was like the weirdest experience. Because like we grind, and we want to like, the Western world, the Western culture is so, especially now, like Instagram, all these apps, you go on fucking line, I could pull up my phone right now, I guarantee I swipe for like a couple minutes and I'll see one guy on there. The fuck you doing with your life? Yeah. You need to wake up at 8 a.m. and grind. And it's like hustle culture is such a thing where it's like, yo, hustle, be specific. Yeah. Bro, there's janitors, there's niggas who work at McDonald's or Popeyes or whatever, and they're more happy than the millionaire.
Yeah. When did you realize that?
When I actually started making money and like doing like.
So what was that low point for you then? Like when you had the money, you had the financial freedom, right? When did you realize, man, shit, this is like.
Was there a specific moment? What turned your head?
Comes in waves. I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel like when they say it's like every new high is a new, like for every new high there will be a new low. Sure. Yeah. Like that's what I mean by waves. So I could say, yo, 2021, oh, I was at this high and then I hit this low. But 2023, I hit this high. You know what I mean? So it came in phases and shit, you know? So it's like
When you were on that high, is that when you moved to Vancouver?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, because Vancouver is like hella expensive, bro. It's a different vibe.
Bro, it was crazy, bro. I was literally paying like almost $4K a month for rent, bro. Wow. Like, it was crazy. I moved there with a girl.
That's a mortgage, bro.
Straight up. Stupid financially. I should have bought property. Should have just invested. Put down, 20, 30K on a house and Airbnb or whatever. Yeah. I was young, bro. I was stupid. So...
The highs get higher each time you go. Exactly. But do the lows get lower?
Oh, 100%.
So what's the biggest high you've reached and what's the lowest low you felt?
Highest high? I mean, I'm not going to get like too specific about like my finances and this and that. But no, I was able to like, some things that I can remember were just like being able to like, go walking and like I'm smiling even thinking about it. It was like, bro, there was a moment where it was like, boom, I was actually at Pascal's house. Yeah. 2021, 2022, something like that. I signed a deal.
Sony?
No, it was with, they're called, what are they called? Because I'm with they were Foundation. Okay. They're like a sister company. Sure. Or like an umbrella company of like some other bigger, like Columbia, Sony, something, right? They're like a sister company. Umbrella company. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, boom. I was broke as hell. Well, like I was making money, but it was like, even if I made $20,000 in a month, nigga, I by the end of the month, I'm at $0 in my account. Wow. So like that's how bad I was with money. So even though I was making good money, and then Pascal's over here, I mean, he knows I just tell shit how it is. So I don't give a fuck if you don't want me to say this or not. But you know, he could be making $2,000 at work, $3,000, whatever. Like a normal, I make 15 an hour, 20 an hour. Over here, I'm making 20K a month. But he's making this with his job, and he was still, bro. After 6 months, this guy's got like 30K saved up. And I'm making 20K a month, and I can't even save $1. So it just goes to show you, too, that's a valuable lesson. It doesn't even matter how much fucking money you make. It's about the money you save.
Right.
You got to be able to just be financially smart with your money, bro.
Yeah. What are you spending it on?
Bullshit. Shit adds up, bro.
Alcohol? Clubs?
Not even, bro. Like...
Because you're not even like, you don't even like going to clubs and shit, right?
Like material stuff?
Not even. I wish I could go to my fucking closet and be like, pull out a Louis jacket and a Louis. Look, I'm wearing Guess. I'm like, I don't got the most. I have a couple, and I mean, that's what I was gonna talk about. It's like my high. I was able to buy my dream car, which is a Scat Pack, Challenger. It was like 70K, 80K. It was just below, there's the Demon, and then the Hellcat, and the Scat Pack. So it was at the bottom of, the Challengers and the whatever, but for me, I was like, holy fuck. And then it was like, I could rent out a place. It was 4K a month if I wanted to. I could, go into, a store and spend 10K in one day and wake up the next day and not be broke or be stressing. Go do it again if I wanted to. And the next day and be good.
Wild.
But after a while, if I did that for 2, 3, 4 weeks, 2 months, 3 months straight, I'm gonna be broke quick.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was the fact that I could do it in one day and just be chilling. And it wasn't like I had to save up for 5 months. It was like, no, that's in my bank account. I could go tomorrow and just do it. So it's shit like that. But again, I'm not talking like this, like trying to boast myself and be, oh, I was a millionaire. And no, but it was just the fact that I actually had this kind of money that like I never imagined I could do that shit.
Yeah.
So those were the kind of highs where it was just like I was able to just like buy, like honestly, like if I was like super into jewelry, or I'd be sitting here with like probably 20,000, 30,000 on my neck, rings, but I wasn't into jewelry. I was just spending money, just blowing it on bullshit. Friends would call me, hey bro, yo, I need it. You need a flight tomorrow, $1,000, here you go. Like I was just like, I had money, so it was just like, I don't give a fuck. Pascal never charged me for a beat. And even if he did, maybe I'd give him like $100, $300 for a beat. Because I had money, I literally, and he's not the type of guy to be like, oh, give me 5,000 for a beat. But because I had money, I'm just stupid with money. I just think it's never gonna run out. So because I have money, boom, I give him like 10,000 for 2 beats. He's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, fine. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of shit, right? Go to my mom, here's 20,000. Like, so it's just like having money. It was like, bro, when I was at his house, I signed this deal, boom, boom, boom. A week later, 100,000 wired to my account. Boom, another 100,000 wired to my account. It was like money was just coming in. And it was like, I see like these rappers and shit will talk about this shit. If you see like a Fetty Wap or you see this guy, that's what they talk about, but on another level. I can't even imagine. I'm talking about they're getting fucking $500,000 signed, wired to them every day. They're spending 100,000 in the store for 5 days straight and not going broke because when they go perform, they're getting 100,000 to perform. That's different type of man. Again, I just want to make it clear. I'm not sitting here saying I was just a millionaire making crazy, but I was making money where I was like, holy shit, like
that's wild.
I haven't touched this kind of money.
Especially when you don't come from that stuff. Like, it's a different world.
And then so again, right? Why they say for every new high, there's a new low.
So what's that low?
So boom, I'm making this money. And what feeds into that low, what makes you feel so low is that, you thought buying a $2,000 vest or buying $5,000 shoes or buying a $100,000 car is going to make you feel good. And then you realize it doesn't matter. I'll ride the fucking Honda Civic for $2,000 today. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to like prove to myself, I'm trying to like prove to this shorty, I have money, girl. Yeah. It doesn't matter because then you realize, oh, fuck. Never thought once in my life I'd be suicidal. I was suicidal. I wanted to kill myself, but I didn't want to be here no more. I dead ass did not want to be here no more. I'm isolating myself, don't care about life, don't feel like I have a purpose. the low is so bad. It's so dark. You're just like, man, I'm done with life. I don't care anymore.
What got you to that point? Was it the money, or like was it?
It was achieving those things, but like I said earlier, it's wanting to achieve more, and then so
being hard on yourself, essentially.
Basically. Hard on yourself, but also realizing that, like, yo, like I'm telling you, okay, say, yo, I'm a pretty confident guy with or without money. Sure. But what I'm trying to explain to you guys is like, yo, like, it's just like, yo, imagine, right? Like, you have parents that are like, yo, like, do this, do that, right? Go to school, become this, become that. And like, so in your head, you're trained, you're groomed since a little kid to believe that. Like, that's almost where your confidence comes from. That's where, you know, like, if I become this, if I don't become this, I'm nothing. Because you're taught that. Right?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, boom, you become that. And then a lot of people go through that too. Where they're like, oh, I tried my whole life to, you know, go to school and this, and I became a lawyer, and I became this, and I was honestly trying to do it for my parents. And then they realize later on, you know, they're 30, 35, 40, and they're like, yo, I just did that because I wanted to make my parents proud and da-da-da. And then, you know, it's like they realize later on, yo, maybe they just wanted to be a yoga instructor. It's not about having the status or being, and again, that's why, you know, being successful or achievements, or even when you guys say, right, like, oh, what does 1 million streams mean? It's like, bro, honestly, none of this should mean nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Not to be like weird or whatever. It's like, bro, like 100, 200 years from now, we're not gonna remember any of this shit.
No,
like,
of course not.
Dude, do you remember that dude from 1700? And no, you know, unless it's written in the history books and shit, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, you can never just, you know, you can't take life too serious.
But
you
that's
know,
what
that's what I've
chasing.
learned through it all. That's where I kind of find my balance. Where
So
I'm
was
like,
it like a identity crisis?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah?
You
Like
lose
you-
your
1000%.
Yeah.
1000%. That's the worst shit you could go through, bro. I'm telling you.
It's like you're staring in the mirror and you don't even know who you are. Shit.
It's the worst thing you could go through, you know? Because I feel like some people might explain like the YSN Fab as like an ego.
Right.
Like, oh, that's your ulterior, or what's it called?
Ulterior ego?
Something like that.
Yeah, alter ego. Yeah,
Alter ego. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like your alter ego, or this thing that you created. It's a brand. And then that's why I said earlier, right? Like the Fabian and the YSN Fab. Like, what is the difference? Yes, I'm the same person. And if you have good friends around you, like, bro, there's no difference. Fabian and YSN is the same thing. That's just something you took on because you're building a brand. And I love that because that centers me, that grounds me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes you want to split it in half and be deeper and be like, no, but like,
So who is Fabian to you then?
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, who is Fabian? Like, it's like, I feel like that's a never ending process of just, I always want to keep growing and evolving and learning myself and trying to like create this new person. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't think I can put a title on who Fabian is. I think I'm just,
Can you put a title on the values he has?
yeah, I mean,
What would young Fabian want? What was young Fabian's goals? What did he want?
what did he want?
NFL?
I think we just, I mean, maybe I can't speak for everyone, but I do think that we do want to, you know, be successful and make a mark in the world, whatever that means to you.
Right.
Some people that could mean having a family, just having a secure job. You could be a janitor. You could be a school teacher. It's not about making so much money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you feel like
Feeling important. Just feeling important. Everyone wants to feel important.
Right.
Even if it's just you telling him, hey, I respect what
course.
you do. I love that.
Yeah.
Or if it's
Validation.
the world.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's where I think it's like I wanted the world to acknowledge that kind of and prove to myself. And now I'm more so like, I still do kind of want that, but now I'm more so like, you know what? I'm good. Like, I'm good. Whether just, you know, Pascal believes in me and this guy believes in me. And, you know, I come on this podcast with you guys and the respect you guys show me. Like, yo, bro, you actually did things for this. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, that makes me feel really good. You know, I'm like, damn, thank you. Like, I didn't even think, like, too much of this stuff. But the fact that people see it in this view is cool. And it's cool, you know? And it's like you're making that mark.
Yeah.
What were
Yeah,
you saying,
Cody.
bro?
do you feel like you get a little bit of imposter syndrome?
All the time.
Yeah, like
exactly
when
that.
you're moving that fast in life and like things kind of just come at you so quickly, it's like it's almost hard for you to kind of make those realizations, right?
Exactly that. Exactly that. It's like, you know, survivor's guilt almost, right? Where it's like,
Dave has a song on that.
yeah, it's like, oh, I'm the one that like made it, or I'm the one that's doing something, and why doesn't this guy? Why doesn't that guy? And I'm like, I'm honest too, bro. When I think somebody's better than me, or I think that they should be, I tell them, bro. I'll send a DM, I'll meet you in person. I'm like, yo, bro, I feel like your album should have done way better than it is right now, bro. You deserve the most, bro. You're actually fire, bro. Nobody, like, I don't have an ego like that. Like, I'm like, yeah.
But you still gotta give yourself the credit where it's due, right?
I guess, but that's just where, you know, I'm at. You know, it's just like, I don't care too much about it, you know? We're all gonna be 40, 50, 60, 70 years old one day, and it's like, the shit that we did right now in our 20s and 30s, yeah, sure, it might matter depending on, you know, who does this and that, and if I make a bigger impact on this, but sure. But my point is, it's just like, we're all human. At the end of the day, we're all gonna die, we're all gonna get old, and it's all just gonna be stories, you know, about what you leave behind and what you do. And what I love too, like, even if I'm gonna like talk about you guys, right? Like being like, you know, East Indian or whatever, it's like, or even African, it's like, I love that culture because it's like, you guys are so family oriented. You guys will have like 3 generations living in one house. You guys will have 7, especially being in Vancouver. I saw that a lot. I go to a Walmart, bro. Yo, I swear to God, it would be like the Indian, like East Indian, like family, like the mom and the dad and whatever. Maybe like a kid or whatever. And they'd have like, bro, it's crazy. They have like 7, 8 milk jugs.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Just like but that was like, I was like, clearly you guys have a fucking 5 This guy's married. He's probably 25 with his wife living in that house. And then, but I love it, bro, because it's like,
We also
that
drink a lot of
teaches
milk,
you-
though. Like, it's not even like about that.
we also
like,
just drink a lot of milk. Nah, I feel you. East Indians drink a lot of milk.
I live with 2 people. I got 4 milk bottles every week. Like, it's not even like,
That's crazy.
It's not even like that. Like,
Nah, but yo, it's just like, I love that, you know, and I never saw that growing up. It wasn't the same for me. My family's all spread out. I'm all over the place, and this person hates this.
It took me a while to like truly understand the culture, because for a while I was struggling with the aspect of like growing up in Western Canada, right? Like you're completely like it's a completely different culture in the way that like, yo, I get married, I'm gonna move out of my house, right?
Exactly.
Right?
You're like, oh, I turned 18.
I turned 18.
I'm gonna move
gone.
out. You guys, it's like, bro, you have no shame staying at home until
No,
you're 30.
look, bro, I realized that literally
Since you lived here.
this year.
Yeah.
Like,
you're 24, right?
yeah, I'm 24.
Yeah,
And
that's
so I
crazy.
realized that when
Married?
No, not yet.
oh, just give it
Not
a couple
yet.
months.
Yeah. Girlfriend though.
No, nothing
Oh, no,
yet,
no,
bro.
No, but like, you know, families work like that. Like, you know, 25, lock it up, get it going.
Exactly.
So like,
exactly.
you know,
And that's the thing, especially like with your culture and stuff too, and like African culture and whatever. It's like, that's what they're known. They're known to like, sometimes they even set it up, like the parents set it up.
Yeah.
What is it called?
arranged marriage.
Arranged marriage, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, boom, you're 18, boom, here you go.
Yeah.
Here, I found this person for you.
But
It's
this,
crazy.
like it, I think to an extent that's almost like you're preserving the values, right? Like
Yeah,
those
exactly.
You're preserving the value of your culture to an extent. I have my own opinion on this. Like,
Go ahead.
you know what I mean?
What?
Like it's like
What?
my opinion is that like, to my parents too. Like I've told them front. I'm like, yo, you're not picking my wife. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
But it's like for me, I know the values that I was raised with. I know family is like the bigger one, no doubt.
You
And
still
so-
feel like you keep them?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, like it took me a while to actually like anyways, I'll tell you off camera.
No, he's like, I don't want to get into it. He's like, the interview's on me. I feel
So,
it.
how was Vancouver? Nah, I'm just kidding. The best thing is like we come from, like you say, you come from a place of struggle, and you come to this country to realize that your parents have given up their life for you to have a better life, and so it's almost like you want to preserve that and make sure that their sacrifice wasn't for nothing, right?
It's worth it.
It was worth it. And so that's the biggest culture. Is like, we are family oriented because literally it's
everything.
family over everything,
What,
right?
what was your childhood like growing up?
Oh, it's fucked. I mean, That was quick. I was like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, wait, let me think about it.
Let me think about it.
No, but you know what's so crazy is like the reason I say it like so quick like that is because like I had that that perspective for so long until I got older, and I was like, wait,
Like the family perspective?
no, like you said, what was your childhood like?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It was fucked. Oh, that
So I
perspective,
had
okay.
this perspective for so long until I grew up, right? I'm in my 20s now, and I'm like, wait, but I was a pretty bad kid.
Yeah.
Like if I was a good kid, it would probably be different, and my parents treated me bad or it. But
How
you
so?
know,
How so?
what do you mean?
How so were you a bad kid?
Oh, I was stealing. I was like, swearing at a young age. I was fighting. I got expelled or like kicked out of like daycares and suspended from school. Like I was just bad. Like,
okay.
I was just bad. Like I was the kid that you could dare to do anything and I would do it. I swear to God. I've pantsed a teacher. When I was younger. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking like grade 4, grade 5. Like I'm a 10-year-old and I'm just like, they'd be like, yo, what if you, I'm like, I bet. And I go like, it didn't care. It didn't matter, bro. I'd throw poop bags of shit, throw it on somebody's roof or throw it on the, like just stupid, childish kind of things. Yeah. Or fight, just be in little fights and talk this and talk that. And how do you try to keep that kid in line? How do you parent that kind of... And I didn't understand that when I was younger. I always boomed. That's why I moved out when I was young. I was 16, 17, and I just moved out. It's like, fuck you. I packed 5 garbage bags and just moved out.
Really?
And, but at the same time, I do feel like the way that I was raised or certain techniques or ways that, my parents disciplined me or did certain things didn't give me room to like grow and learn. It was more so like, you're a bad kid. Bah! Fuck! What are you doing? It wasn't like, hey, don't do this. This is why. Here, I will explain to you. You know what I mean? So it's like, I always just thought, oh, I'm a bad kid. Oh, I'm fucking up. Oh, yeah, maybe don't do it again. But if I don't, like, this is what will come. It wasn't more so like, oh, this is why. Or I don't know how to exactly explain it. But I just feel like that was kind of my perspective. And now that I'm older, though, like, I've talked to my parents. We talked about it, this, that. Even in World of My Palms, though, I said, never felt I belong in a white home.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, that's always my perspective. It was like, I didn't feel like I belonged kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, the childhood was,
appreciate it.
it was different. Especially like, again, like I'm a black kid. I was adopted. You know what I mean? Grew up in a white family. You know what I mean? I might talk about it in my song sometimes where it's like, yo, I didn't have a dad. Technically I did, but when I say that, it's like I didn't meet my real dad. I didn't meet my biological dad. I didn't live with my biological mom. I was adopted. So it was like I'm the only black guy going to a family event, all white people. Not that they were racist, but just that is you're growing up, you're 10, 12, 15, you don't feel in place. You don't feel at home. You're like, oh, what? And then you even see sometimes, right? This auntie is close with this cousin, kiss him on the cheek. Oh, I love you. And then how she just give me a hug. So I would take those things personal. I'm like, oh, she doesn't love me the same. You're a kid. You're trying to figure shit out and you're trying to,
you're growing,
So, but now that I'm older and I'm grown, it's like, nah, like I know, like some of those family members will come pop out to a show. They still support me and, it's just, you got to grow out of it. You got to learn, what matters and, you grow a new perspective and, it's,
What made you realize that though? Like, was it a point of low or was it a point of high when, you've achieved everything and you're
I think a point of low more so. Or it's like both. It's like you get to a certain point where you get all this and the clout and the money and whatever the fuck, and then it's like you come back down to earth.
Right.
And you're like, wait, but what matters? Oh wait, hey, okay, now I'm going back to like old DMs and old shit, and I'm like, oh wait, yo, my auntie hit me up in 2020. She doesn't hate me. Like I didn't even see it, So yeah, it's a bit of both, right? And you just start to realize like, okay, like, people don't really get, like, unless you're like a celebrity or whatever, right? Like, oh, Will Smith, sure, they care about that, whatever. But most people, especially when it's like your family or your friends, they don't care what you do. They want you to be successful. They want you to have a good life, but they're not going to judge you. If you wanted to be a janitor or a school teacher, not that I'm using that as like, that's a shitty job or anything, but I'm just saying, right? You know, it's like,
not ideal success.
Whatever, right? It's like, oh, well, compared to a lawyer or somebody who makes $1 million,
no,
it's like, they don't care about that.
Yeah.
Like, they just care about who you are. We're human.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about black and white and whatever. It's, you know, or this job or that job. It's, you just get older, bro, and you grow out of certain things, right?
Yeah.
Even my music, I feel like my music has changed so much. I feel like I was a lot more angry, but I feel like people like that. People like that more. I feel like that's what they liked about my music. Nobody Loyal, Winter City, The Cash. I was more aggressive. And then I made an album that was more love, and it was like, it didn't get that much attention. Nowadays, I'm like in between. Like, I might go through a low, through the thunder, this, that. And it's like, I feel like, you know, and especially in rap, right? Like, think about all the songs that are like, are blow up and shit that are like, take a. I was trying to beat the case. And it's just like these, oh, fuck you, kill you. And it's like, those are the things that go hot and shit, right? But
How's the music changed? Like, even in your catalog alone, like, I feel like the first couple albums, especially like Made for More, the deluxe, and like the first couple that you put out, like, you really just talking about the grind and like wanting to make it. And then you reach a point where, you know, just like we talked about, like, you know, money's there. You think your music changed in the sense of like what you talk about in your music?
Definitely, yeah. It's
and do you think people resonate with that more, or
the beginning shit? I think.
Yeah.
Right. Where it's more so like, yo, I'm grinding, I'm trying to make it. I feel like it gives them more motivation. It inspires them.
They can relate. You think they can relate more?
Exactly. Right. It's like if you listen to like old Drake, and then you listen to Drake now. It's like, bro, he's talking about having a $2 million watch, having a fucking crib where he can't even. He doesn't. He's like, it might take a week for me to bump into one of my niggas in my house. Like, it's like his house is so big, you can't, you know what I mean? So it's like so different things that you can't, right? You're getting so rich, you can't even relate anymore.
Music's not relatable.
Right? And no, again, not saying that I'm that rich. Let's make that clear. I am not that rich. If I was, I'd be talking my shit. I'd be shitting on all y'all niggas. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely not there.
You got some songs you talking your shit.
Oh,
My
definitely.
Reality, like, bro, you going off.
Definitely. But that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
You asked, right? How does it change?
Yeah.
That's what starts to get to your head. You start to like, your lifestyle kind of changes and shit, and you're like making a little bit more money and shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, hey, bet. Like, I know niggas ain't doing this shit every day.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some recent topics. Made for More, 5-year anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
What does that feel like, man? 5 years in the game, you know?
Time flies.
Yeah.
Time flies. I wish it wasn't 5 years.
You took a break from music, didn't you, for a bit? Like, releasing-wise?
It's so crazy that you say that, because it's like, I feel like the way that I like set myself up is that I release so much that if I take 5 months off or whatever, it feels abnormal.
Like yeah,
right?
Yeah,
it's so funny that you say that, because like so many people, I get DMs and all this, but I went through a crazy time. The reason I didn't drop is because I was going through a crazy time. Like, I like lost my mind. I ended up in a psych ward. Mental health wise, I was literally crazy, bro. Like weird as shit. I've never said this shit publicly, but fuck it. I literally thought I was like hearing voices, bro. I literally thought I was like, I just got to a point where I was going through so much. I had lost a child, like, there was, you know, abortion, like, there's a lot of shit that I went through, losing money, losing this, that, whatever, and I just went through so much that I literally, bro, I lost my mind, bro, and I ended up in the psych ward, and it was like, that's the real reason why I had that time off. I wasn't on Instagram, I wasn't even on my phone at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a time where I really, and again, like we talk about, right? This whole low, right? The new high and new lows. It's like, that was a low that like was probably one of my worst times ever in my life. It was just like, I didn't understand what was going on.
This is while you were in Vancouver?
This is right before I came back. So it was, it was November 2023 to about February 2024. Wow. And then even carried on, right? So boom, I come out, I'm back home, I'm in Winnipeg now. So, you know, March, April, May, whatever, all the 2024 was like a write-off for me.
Right.
Wow.
Probably made like 10 songs that whole year.
Yeah.
Which is abnormal. I could make 10 songs in a week.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, the fact that I just lost myself so much. And a lot of it too was identity. I was thinking about going back to school. I was thinking like, yo, I don't really want to do music anymore. Like I like it, and I still it'll always be a part of me and whatever. But it was like, I don't know. Again, it's about feeling important in this world. You know, sometimes, bro, I swear to God, I get around my friends and they think like I'm fucking drunk or I'm just like talking crazy. But it's like, bro, I will literally boast and like lift up my friend who is literally, they could be a coach for soccer, they could be a janitor, they could be whatever. And it's like, dog, I'm sitting there for 10 minutes just like lifting them up, you know, pouring into them like, yo, dog, I'm so proud of you, man. Like, but people will always look at me like that because they look at the streams and they look at the music and they see that as success and they see that as this thing. And it is, but I just respect everyone so much that like I don't care what you do. I'm just like, bro, like I'll go just a couple days ago I go to my friend's soccer game and I'm sitting in the bleachers and there's like 2 people in the bleachers because it wasn't like a super big game or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just chatting away. I am very introverted, but there's certain scenarios where I'll just get to talking. Yeah. And I met this guy, bro, and he's like a pilot. And to me, that was just so interesting. I'm like, yo, good for you, bro. Like, that's so amazing, bro. Like, but then I told him I do music, and he's the same way. He's like, oh, no way. Damn, you make music. Because it's like, but for me, it's just like, bro, I don't care what you do. To me, it's just so interesting, especially when they have such a passion for it. Yeah. And they're not thinking about money. They're just like, oh, I love this. Yeah. Oh, my dad did this. Oh, that, and that's why I do. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool, bro. You found your way. That's amazing. I love that. You know what I mean? So it's special, bro. Everyone is just like, you know, it's like, there's a lot. And then one of my best friends, Kwaku, it's like he's a teacher, and it's like one of the things he told me when he was first getting into it and stuff and going to school for it and stuff, he was like, bro, I just want to be that example for kids. Like I want to be who those kids look up to. I want to be, and I want to be that example. I want to be able to, okay, I kind of see myself in you. You're 15 years old, going through this, going through that. And it's like the fact that he can just give a little piece of advice or be like, hey, look, trust me, you don't want to do that. Just get your life together. Like,
that's powerful.
That gives him so much purpose. Yeah. And I love that. It's amazing. You know what I mean? And so that's where I'm like, when I think about music sometimes, you know, and I start to lose myself or I start to think, oh, I don't want to do it. You know, at first back then when we talked about, like Pascal was here and he was like, oh yeah, he would quit every day. And it's true. But the reason I was wanting to quit was different. It was more so, oh, I don't think I could be successful. I don't think I can make it. So again, now I hit that point where I'm like, I've made 6 figures off this shit. I've made money. I still make money from it. It's great. Yeah. But now it's not, it's like I fiend for having a purpose. Sometimes I think about just going to be a fucking monk or like being like a yoga instructor or like something that's just like, I love wellness.
Yeah.
You know, you ask me for my values and it's like, it's hard to say because it's just like, I feel like it's forever changing. And I'm always trying to find myself and figure out what's important to me.
Right.
And I think this generation that we're in too, it's like there's so many options. Like you can do this, you can do that, you can make money online, you can do. Back then it was probably like, bro, this is your option. This is it. You can do this and that's it. Yeah. You know, and So
how'd you get out of that headspace?
I'm still like fucking
waves. Yeah.
Floating in and out of consciousness, like Jake said, man. Nah, but I always float in and out of it, bro. I flirt with it, man. Like I flirt with it for sure. I'm like, man, I'm nothing. And then sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy. I'm the shit. Okay. And that's just me being honest, man. You know, I'm not, you know, as much I can say I'm confident, but I can also say I'm not confident. Like, you know what I mean? I still get scared as fuck before shows. Yeah. I get so much anxiety. I don't want to miss a lyric. I don't want to mess this up. I want to like provide value to people. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want to make a difference. And sometimes when I feel like, yo, music is not really going to do that for me, I'm like, should I do something else? You know what I mean? Yeah. And this is the thing too. If I had $1 million fucking dollars and I was a famous guy and I blew up, like I'm talking about worldwide, and I'm, you know, not to say that I can't get there, but I'm saying if I was there, it would feel a little bit different because now that is the value. People already just looking there like, oh, and people do view me. So I'm telling you, I could walk down the street tomorrow, go downtown, and there'll be a person, and they'll be like, why is it? Oh, I look up to you. And that feels great, and I love that. But I'm saying on a world, again, this whole thing of feeling important on a world scale. It's different when you're in your city, local. Hey, this guy looks up to you. You're that guy. But again, what did I say earlier? You always want to outdo yourself. You want to get to that next level. So now I'm sitting in this feeling for 3 years already. I've been knowing that I'm that guy in Winnipeg. Nobody's done this shit musically or whatever. So yeah, that feels great. I still appreciate it. I'm grateful, but I want to take it to that next level. And it's like when you can't get there, then that's where you start going in and out of, oh, I'm not worth it, bro. I'm not that good. I'm not. Oh no, but I am. I'm like, oh no. And then I do interviews like this, or I'm around this friend, and they're like, no, you're that guy, man. Talk your shit, man. Yeah. So it's always back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's just like this fight with the ego. That's just like how do you find that middle ground where you just are like, yo, that's it. And I look at people like Garrett or 40 or whatever, where it's like, Garrett has a successful business. And obviously it's about money, but it's like he's comfortable. It's not the same, like as an artist or in certain roles, certain jobs that you do, it's more about like eyes are on you. You're a photographer, you're a videographer. It's not the same. Like you're shooting this wedding. People aren't gonna sit here and be like, oh, Garrett, unless you're in that industry and you're like a videographer and you look up to him and whatever. But like music is different. I can reach 50-year-old, I know 50-year-old mothers and fathers that are like, oh, yo, this guy is dope. And so it's like you get what I'm trying to explain?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like a teacher. You could be a successful teacher, one of the best teachers or whatever, but it's like a different feeling where it's not about the clout or the fame or whatever. So that's where it gets in my head, where it confuses me, where I'm like, I don't really care about the fame, but that's also what makes me feel like I'm doing something and I'm evolving. Because if I always just stay local, or I always just stay as this guy as Winnipeg, you're gonna feel like there's a cap to that, right? You're gonna feel like, yo, I need to grow from that. Even your podcast, right? You're like,
we think about that shit every day.
It's like, yo, you guys could in a year from now or whatever be the best fucking podcast in Winnipeg, but then what from there?
Hell yeah.
But again, why I bring up Garrett or people that do that, they don't really necessarily need that. If they're getting 5, 10 fucking clients that they're doing weddings every day and they just stay in Winnipeg, it doesn't really matter, because it doesn't matter as much. You're making your money.
It also depends what he's chasing. Like if
that too.
Right? Like if he's comfortable business, family, good family life, if that's what he's chasing, that's what he's chasing.
Exactly.
But like if we're chasing to be the best in the world, we gotta start somewhere. But we're not ending here. We're not ending in Winnipeg. Just like you're not ending in Winnipeg.
Exactly.
You're taking over the world. You're taking over Canada. You're going like North America wide. Like that's the goal that you're chasing, right? You could be comfortable, sure, if you wanted with making 100 racks a month or whatever, or a year or whatever. Yeah. But that's not what you want.
100 racks a month would be nice.
But you don't want a comfortable life. You want to be known. You want people to look up to you. You want people to hear your music. You want to hear your lyrics touch people. Yeah. Like that's what you want. Because you could make a decent album every a year and do decent numbers. Yeah. And make decent money. Yeah. But you're not gonna be satisfied with that.
Exactly.
And I won't be talking to you for like an hour, and I know that, right? And like I can tell that through your music as well.
You gotta choose your own happy. That's
right.
I would say it's really good to have drive, but one of the best pieces of advice that I've gotten from somebody who is successful, that has gone through all sorts of life struggles, was that they said, you may feel like comparing yourself to others, comparison is always going to be the thief of joy, but not only that, you're exactly where you need to be right now. And it took me a second to think about that, because I was like, what does that mean? I'm exactly where I need to be. But if you kind of just like take a second to have a little introspective, you realize that like that is really what it is. I was always in that place I needed to be right in that point to get me to the next place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Another way I would like to add on to that, that's one of the biggest things that I've learned throughout this whole journey, is like another way I would explain that is accepting. A lot of people have a problem with accepting things for what it is. Like you just said, it's like, yo, I'm where I need to be. But part of how you even get in that mindset is accepting. Accepting, yo, I may have failed. I may have blew through money. I may not be where I want to be. But I have to accept. I can't change the past, and I can't really predict the future, but I can accept where I am, and I can accept everything that I've went through, and just be like, yes, you know what? And again, not to kill the mood, but it's like somebody dies, or it's like some people, they will kill themselves over that shit. Yeah. Like, oh my God, I lost this family member. And they can't handle it because they can't accept it. They can't say, yo, okay, this is what happened, and that's it, And that's why, I feel like that's why like God and like religion is so important, and praying and this stuff, because it's like that helps you like kind of clear your mind, and just like it helps you accept things, and it helps you know that there's a higher power, and that like, you know, things that are out of your control, like you're not going to worry about. You're just going to accept it, and the things that you can control, that's what you'll work on, you know? But it's hard to get there. And that's why I say I struggle with that every day. In and out, in and out, in and out. Oh, I'm this guy. I'm the shit. Oh, no, I'm nothing, bro.
Yeah.
None of this means anything.
Facts.
And then as you get older, your values and shit change.
Yeah.
How you view the world changes, right? And it's just like, yeah, so it's...
I think another thing that really helps me ground myself when it comes to those lows or highs is the quote that I heard. It was like, you prayed for this moment, right?
Yeah.
Like your younger self prayed that... I'm gonna give an example. It's like, I prayed that I would be an engineer one day, right?
Yeah. Is that real?
And now I graduated.
Oh, you are an engineer.
I graduated with my
Nice. Wait, what do you do?
I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I got a production company
Nice.
for
Nice.
podcasts.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Anyways, my thing is like, you pray for those moments. You pray that you have this girl in your life, right? And then you get it. And it's like, you have to appreciate that at one point you wish for those moments. You wish that, you know, you could tour Canada. You wish that
Exactly.
you could have 1 million streams.
Yeah.
You've gotten them.
Yeah.
You have, like, God is putting you in places where he thinks you're meant to be, right? And so you just have to kind of trust that process. And so I feel like the fact that you're at this low, or, you know, you're in this wave, is only going to propel you higher.
Yeah.
That momentum's only good. The rocket's feeling right now, bro.
Yeah.
Look at that rocket right behind you. It's feeling, and you're just gonna rise to the fucking moon,
Yeah.
bro. And so it's a wave that you just gotta ride. You know?
For sure.
Can I ask you a question? So, like, you talk about fame.
Hold on, he brought up girl though.
Oh.
Shout out to my overseas queen. Love you, baby.
You talk about fame, and then like wanting to push past that level. We were talking about this like right before actually you came. Do you think in order to make it to that level, all the negative stuff that comes with hate, the mind, the personal stuff, like the way that you feel, is that the price you need to pay to reach that level? Like, is that what it costs to get there?
What do you mean? Like, do you
So, like-
you have like you're basically saying like you need to like go through these like mental
Yeah,
struggles,
like-
these mental obstacles in order to get there.
To get to that to go
I don't
above.
think so. I think everyone's different.
Sure.
Like I think some people are just more like, maybe you could say like built for it. You know.
Okay.
I think it just depends on the person.
Sure.
But I do think it's normal. I don't think it's necessary, but I think it's normal. I think it's normal to feel those feelings. Music aside, just in anything. I know people who've went to school 4 years, got the degree and the master's and this and the teacher, and they still feel unsatisfied. And I think it's a normal human experience of just being like, yo, honestly, like even you, right? It's like, boom, you could have went your whole life, been this engineer, and then you're an engineer, and then you're not really what I imagined it to be.
Exactly.
Don't really like it. So I think it's just normal, you know, and I think it's more about how you handle it, how you choose to, again, the whole acceptance thing. Like, hey, you know what? Like, I chose to do this, and this is where I'm at. And just trying to be positive. Just trying to stay positive. 'Cause it's so easy to just let your thoughts run wild and feed into those negative thoughts and just like, you know, and then outside opinions and then, oh, you're egotistic. Oh, you're just for yourself. Oh. You know, it's... Yeah, you got to just try to stay positive.
Would your younger self believe you if you said you were going to be in the spot you are today?
I mean, I always did want to make something of myself for sure.
Right.
For sure. So would I believe that? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that exactly, but I think that like it was something that I was looking forward to, and I think I would be happy. Right? I think my younger self would be like, yo, you did it, bro. You did it. Because I think I did this thing. It was like in grade 8. they did this thing. It was like a capsule kind of thing.
Write to yourself.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
write like a letter to yourself in like grade 12.
Yeah.
And I remember some of the things I put on there. 'Cause I was a very shy, introverted kind of guy and shit, right? Like again, like I wasn't like super confident. I might have looked good, been that light skinned guy, athletes. I had, you know, when you're an athlete and shit, like obviously you're like a little bit more popular in school and stuff too, right?
Right.
Like, if you're just like a nerd and you're just straight to the books, and you have a different crowd. But me, it was like I was loud. I was fucking. Yeah, I was just all over the place, right? So I had that piece to me, but when you asked me honestly, and if I was writing to which I did, and I'm writing, and the questions were like, you know, how do you view yourself in 5 years, or what girl do you? And it's like I was writing all these things. Oh, I hope I'm a ladies' man. I hope I have this girl. I hope I do this with my life. And those were the things that I wrote. And so to see myself now and know what I've been through, and you know the money, the career, the girls, everything, it's like, yeah, I'm definitely proud of myself, like definitely, you know. And I'm not there though. I'm not perfect. There's definitely things I gotta work on and always keep evolving. And again, like I said, it's an everlasting kind of like process,
Right.
you know. And I think it's foolish if you just like, yeah, I made it and I'm good.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else to learn and improve on. So
The one story I want to touch on is the tour you went with NLE Choppa.
yeah.
Can you talk about that tour? Moments from it, how that ended up happening, what you learned, what you liked, what you didn't like that overall experience. Positive interactions, negative interactions, whatever.
Yeah, no, there was no negative interactions at all. It was all good. It was all good. But I was just like chilling. I was in BC at the time. I was just chilling. Like just chilling at home, just regular day. And then Pascal's like always on his shit, bro. Like he's like on Instagram. He's like, yo, did you see this? Yo, did you see like somebody like if Lil TJ or whatever is going on tour, he's gonna post on his Instagram, right? And I don't really. I mean, if you check my Instagram now, yeah, there's definitely probably like some artists and shit that I follow and this that, but I wasn't usually like back then, especially like I wasn't really like I didn't care to like keep up with any like Polo G, but I wasn't following them, so I never really saw that shit. But he would see it, and I think NLE posted it, and then Pascal sent it. He's like, "Yo, NLE's coming to Canada. You think you could get on this or whatever?" And then so yeah, it was the whole thing, right? I hit up my manager, my booking agent, and all this, and I was like, "Yo, can I?" And it ended up working out, and we got on the tour, and then yeah, I think it was Winnipeg, Calgary, Vancouver. Was it 3 or was it 4? I don't think I went to Toronto. I think it was about 3 or 4 places though.
Yeah.
And yeah, we.
What's it like though?
It's not, bro. It's not as pretty as like you may like imagine. You probably think like, oh yeah, you rode with NLE and you were in the Sprinter van, and nah, yo, we was thugging it, bro. I went with like 10 of my homies, and like we drove 2 different cars, and we filled the cars up, right? 5 people each car, and we're driving across the city, bro. Like 10, 20-hour drives, and like it was a struggle. Like it was ghetto, man. Like we're just, you know, that's behind the scenes. Like that's the real shit. We're driving there. I don't even think I really made money. Like might have got like 200, 500 for the show or some shit, but I was not really making that much money.
Sure.
But yeah, just to see him perform and to see like, you know, sometimes you like see people online or whatever, and then you meet them in person and it's like a completely different person, but he was exactly the same. Same type of energy, same type of swag, same type of composure. Great guy. Like stand-up guy, great character. Like, and again, seeing him perform and just seeing like what makes him him, what makes him stand out. This guy's dancing, doing his weird shit on stage, like just so much energy, bro. Just a cool guy, bro. Young too, right? I think he's even younger than me. So it's like, yeah, seeing him do his shit, and like, yo, like it obviously like inspired me and it made it like things like more real for me. And I'm like, oh shit, like I'm really doing this. This is dope. Wow. And yeah, just and like the way that they invited us to, like they were so welcoming and shit. Like his mom and his dad are like his manager too, so they're always with him. And then his DJ is DJ Booker, so he like meeting him too. This guy just wanted weed, bro. Like he's like, yo, you got the backwoods. Like he just wanted to smoke, but he was a dope guy, bro. Like I even got their numbers and shit. We were trying to get in the studio. We didn't end up doing that, but you know, NLE charges $100,000 for a feature.
Yeah,
$100,000.
Wow.
So it's like it's insane, but yeah, I mean, no, it was a dope experience, bro. It was cool to see, you know, like Yeah, just the type of person he is and how he performs and how he handles himself. It's dope.
That's crazy.
Dope.
Yeah, that's gonna be a different feeling though. Like to
100%.
see someone like at that level,
And you know
and
what's
then
funny?
aspire to be like that.
You know
too.
what's funny? In Vancouver, when I did a show for him, I got booed for my first time. I was in Vancouver, and
What
like,
did that feel like?
oh, I was fucking shitting my pants. but I had this one line that I hit them with because I think I had like 15, 20 minutes to like open. So it's like maybe like 5, 6 songs or whatever. And then I probably had like 1 or 2 more songs. Finish the song, and then it's like kind of quiet, right? Obviously, I have a little bit of time to talk to the crowd, work the crowd a bit. How y'all feeling? Yeah, yo, left side, make some noise. Yeah. Whatever. But even before I got to that point, the song ended. It was like a little silent. Right away, they're like, NLE,
Oh, they want him,
NLE, NLE. And I was like, hey, chill. I hit him with this one line. I was like, hey, I know we got a younger crowd, so y'all patience is fucking slow. Like, and I just hit him with that, and I was just like, I was just super confident, like it didn't affect me.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, y'all gotta give me some patience, man. Chill out. I got a couple more songs, and I just rocked with it.
Wow.
But how I was feeling internally, as soon as I heard, I was like, oh my God, they don't want me on stage. Like, I was like, oh fuck, they don't fuck with me. But no, it was dope. It was dope. And like, I think too though, like that, like really like builds your character, right? Like that builds the type of person you are and how you handle certain things. Because even when things don't go my way, or, you know, I'm expecting like, yo, I have fans in Vancouver. People like my music. And it's like, then you realize you're not the shit. You're not the shit. You're not, you might be in Winnipeg, or you might be here, or in a different situation, whatever. But it's like knowing that like those things can happen, and how you handle yourself when it happens is just like, yeah. Like I never thought that shit would happen, bro. And the fact that it happened was just like, I was like, oh fuck. But I handled myself, I had my composure, and just got through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Coming for your next show, February 28th.
February 28th, Winnipeg, 700 Osborne Street.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What are you excited? You nervous?
Oh, yeah.
How you feeling?
More nervous than excited for sure. I'm
Really?
always nervous, bro. I'm always nervous.
What are you worried about?
Just how they're going to react, how I'm going to perform, how well I do, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, first show in Winnipeg in a while, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The last, I think it was what, like 2022? Something like that?
Yeah.
2023?
This is your city, man. This is your city. This is your hometown.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got your back.
No, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, I am confident, and like I know like it will go well, but I always got those
Yeah,
nerves.
for sure.
Always got those nerves.
Sure.
Always got those nerves. But no, it's gonna be a good time. 700 Osborne Street. If this drops before it,
It
but
will.
yeah,
It
700
will.
Osborne Street. May for More 5th anniversary. You know, we're gonna be playing. You know, I'm gonna play a bunch of different shit, but it is, you know, a lot of shit off Made for More, and I mean that's like kind of the purpose of the show. But yeah, and then we got Max Wins opening up, and Yazway as well.
Sweet.
Damn, that's crazy. What are your thoughts on the Winnipeg like rap scene right now, or even music scene as a general?
It's pretty weak. Like,
He ain't lying. He ain't lying. You ain't lying.
yeah, like not weak as in everyone sucks, but weak as in like it's just hard to get noticed. It's hard. It's weak in the sense that like we don't get that much attention.
Right.
It's hard to really make a name for yourself. And not even rap. I feel like just music in general. It's not like we're prairies basically. And that's something that like I didn't even realize until I started doing music and whatever. And sometimes I get interviewed, you're like, oh, prairies, Winnipeg born. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm from the prairies. Like I never realized that. Like,
You're a farmer boy, man.
yeah, or that's what they imagine. But it's
Yeah.
like, no, I really grew up in the city. Like
Yeah.
I consider myself like a city boy, like a
Yeah.
city person.
Yeah.
Like, you know, not like, oh, I like grew up on a farm and shit. But that's what they imagine, is, you know,
if
and
you
then
say prairies like that.
and then they're like, yo, like it's negative fucking 40 every day. Like,
Yeah.
how do you survive? And I'm like, nah, I get you. It's definitely different.
You ride polar bears to school.
You know what I mean?
we
It's
live in
like,
igloos, bro.
yeah, it's not to that extent. Like, chill. But yeah, it's like we have a lot of talented artists. Lot of talented artists. A lot of people doing their own thing, own swag, got their own voice, own sound. You know what I mean? I do think though that like when I started in 2019, 2020, there was not even a quarter of the amount of artists that are now. Like we could do the fact check. Like I dead ass like Winnipeg's most, which is already, they were past their prime when I, like in 2019, they started probably, I don't know exactly, but they're like what, 2006, 2008, like that, you know what I mean? And then like 10 years later, it's 2018, like that's not your prime anymore. But those, that's a name, again, Miazwe, not that he was past his prime, but that was just who somebody, like he's been in it for like 5 years when I started. So now he's at 10 years and he's still going, but I'm just saying like Lavish, like these are like, that's all I heard. I didn't, now, bro, you could fucking, yo, every second guy is a rapper. And I'm just like, yo, like, I don't know if I inspired that, if I started that, but I talk about that all the time with my friends and shit. And I'm like, even 40 Diamonds, like, he's like the guy that we kind of started this video shit with and started doing this YouTube shit and posting these music videos. There was not, you couldn't go online and be like, videographer, and then in Winnipeg and just find 10 different dudes to just go shoot a music video with.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe there was definitely videographers, but not in the sense of, yo, here, do a music video. Again, even Garrett, I don't know if he touched this on the podcast that you did with him. He wasn't doing music videos, but he was a videographer. He was shooting photos, but that's why when I came to him and he was so open to it. He was like, I understand you're broke. I understand you can't, but I want to kind of do this for you. And at first I hit 40 up. He said no because he wanted me to pay him. And I understand that. Everyone's trying to get their money. It's just like when niggas come to me and want to feature for free. But I'm expecting the same thing from videographers. So I get it. When you don't have money and shit, it's like that. It's hard, and that's why even like I'm not mad when people are like, yo, you're making me pay. I get why you're mad, but just tell me you're broke. Don't try to put it on me that, oh, you shouldn't be paying. It's like, no, nigga, if you had $2,000 to spare, you would pay it. So that's the thing. It's like, I knew that I didn't have that money, so boom, boom, boom. But yeah, Garrett did it, and then 40 came because Garrett. So they both came and shot it. And we did with Winter City. That was like one of my first videos. But it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like, bro, the way that I've seen the culture shift and just like everyone like coming together and this guy rapping and this guy rapping, it's like, yo, it's fucking crazy. Even Max Wins, bro, he was rapping like and actually doing it. I don't know exactly when, but probably like 2011 or 2012 or whenever the fuck it was. But I know he was rapping because I heard about his name. I grew up around these people. This guy was cousins with this other guy's name's Nathan. And like, I grew up, I was friends with Nathan. He was a cousin. I've met him. I knew he was a rapper before. And there's all these people that were doing their thing. But it's like to see that it's at the level that it's at now, that's where I'm like, holy shit. Like things have definitely changed. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of people are like making like a good name for themselves. Again, Miazwe, No Safety, Lim, Lavish. Lavish signed with OVO. Sleepy Zay, Fiji, Sandman. Oh my God, how did I forget? Sandman, fucking crazy. I literally did a feature with him and shit. Crazy. You know, Ben Notes. I just want to try to shout out as many people as I can, but it's like, there's a lot of great artists in the city for sure.
It's
you know what I mean?
For Winnipeg,
100%. And I'm telling you, bro, you could ask these guys themselves, bro. Almost anybody I've just mentioned, I've literally, and this is what I'm talking about, I don't have an ego. Anybody I've just mentioned, bro, I swear to God, I've told them myself, I'm like, bro, you deserve way more. I don't just say, yo, I like this single, bro, you're great. I'm like, yo, dog, you're actually super talented. I consider you more talented than me. No cap. No cap. I'm not afraid to say that because, like, you know, to me, numbers don't necessarily define your talent. That's just if you got lucky and people fuck with you and it broke the seal and people heard you from outside the city. And but there's some talented people that's just like, bro, if they get that right person to hear them, sign a certain deal, move to the States and meet this person and you meet that person. Sometimes it's just networking, meeting the right people, right?
For sure.
So, no, definitely. Again, to emphasize, like, it's not about, I don't say weak as in, you know, the city doesn't have. I'm saying the scene is weak because it's like, bro, like we don't get that much attention. It's like you wouldn't even imagine that we have all these rappers or this and that. And I wish, you know, it's like you look Atlanta, New York, LA. It's like the
Meccas, yeah.
kind of, you know what I mean? And then in Canada, it's Toronto. Yeah. And it's like some of those guys suck there, but because Toronto is the Mecca, the hot,
because of one guy, though.
the hot spot, right? You have Tory Lanez, Drake, Weeknd,
Sure,
bro.
yeah.
I could go on, Justin Bieber. You could go on about all these people that came out there. That's why it's like if you come out of there, it's this guy's from the 6. That's where they're highlighted. That's where the spotlight is. Think about it. If I'm a label and I got people blowing up in LA, blowing up here, why the fuck are you even gonna look in Winnipeg? Yeah. You have to make a name for yourself. You have to get 100 million. You have to blow shit out of the water. Then people will come look for you. Yeah. You know, they're not just gonna be like, well, let me take a chance on this guy. This guy's sick. No, bro. You know? So yeah.
Man, from your story, from your experiences, is there any piece of advice you can share with our audience before we end off the show that you can leave them with? Any mission, any statement that you want to put out there to leave your impact on the world?
You know, don't be too hard on yourself, no matter what you do, and define what success means to you. Don't let nobody else define that. And try your hardest. I know it's hard sometimes because you might want to try to do what you love, but it's like, oh, but it's not paying the bills. Or this person's like, you know, I want to do music, but this person, oh, it's just a hobby. It's like, no. Do what you love. Keep doing it. And define what success means to you. You can go on Instagram right now and it'd be like, you know, if you don't wake up at 8 a.m. and do this and do that, you're not successful. Or if you don't have $1 million, it's like, just define success for you, man, and just don't be too hard on yourself. You know, create a good support group, a good environment, and just make sure, you know, you have a good team and a good, you know, set of people around you that's going to support you and keep pushing you. And yeah, nobody's perfect. We're always learning. We're always growing. And just do what you love, man. Do what you love. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to do what you hate in order to get to where you want to do what you love.
I like that.
Right? Or you have to do what you have to do before you can do what you want to do. Right? Yeah. So, you know, it's very cliche, but I've always said this. I feel like some of the most cliche things in life are the most truest things. And the reason it's cliche is because if I said this certain thing and it's cliche, in a room full of 10 people, they're all going to agree with it. Because it's such a simple, like, oh yeah, just do what you... No, but that's why it's cliche. That's why it's a truth that has withstood the time. Yeah. So that's where I'll end it.
All right. Brother, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, sir. It's been I appreciate y'all, man. Shit, no, it's been a good-ass time, bro. I appreciate y'all,
2019 to 2025, baby.
For real. It's been a long time waiting, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who this is, if you haven't listened to his music, please check him out. He's putting Winnipeg on the map. And until next time, peace.
Hey.